I want you to listen to this story and learn. Also tell me what you think. I met this girl online and we started dating. She was based in Nigeria while I live in the UK. I'm also a British citizen. During our dating period, I showered her with lots of goods, ranging from designer perfumes, designer shoes, and bags. I even sponsored her trip to several countries for holidays and birthdays. We were so in love, so I thought. I invited her for the first time to come to the UK. During her stay in the UK, we started making plans to get married. She went back after her visit and I also traveled back to Nigeria and we got married. After our marriage, I came back to the UK and started processing her visa to join me in the UK. This time, she was granted 2-year visiting visa. When she came to visit, she told me she was pregnant. I was happy because after our marriage, something went down between us. So I wasn't surprised by the news. I told her to stay and not go back to Nigeria while I put her paperwork for spousal visa since I'm a British. Fortunately, she was granted 2.5-year spousal visa. One day, she told me that she missed her dad and would want him to visit her here in the UK. But because her dad is old, he wouldn't be able to travel alone. So her stepmom had to come with her dad. I didn't argue. I invited both parents and single-handedly took care of all the expenses until they went back to Nigeria because my wife doesn't work. Fast forward to when she gave birth. This time, I invited her biological mother to come and take care of her and our newborn baby as requested by my woman. Few weeks after the birth of our baby, my woman came with list of things I needed to do for the baby. First was to get the baby his British and Nigerian passports, open an account and start saving for the baby which he would access when he turns 16. I agreed. I opened the account and started putting money into the account. All these were solely on me. Like I said before, my wife doesn't work. She only eats, drink, and dance on TikTok all day. Even the child's benefit that she collects monthly, she saves it in her account and wouldn't spend a dime to buy even a diaper. I didn't complain. I kept on doing my 2 to 3 jobs in order to provide for my family. After the Omugo period, her mother went back to Nigeria. Now it was just the 3 of us, myself, my wife, and our newborn baby. I came back from work one day and overheard my wife on the phone talking to someone. She didn't know I was back. What I overheard my wife talking on the phone that day changed my entire world and almost sent me to an early grave. I overheard my woman telling someone that she needed to bring her son home so he can see his father. When I heard that, I leaned closer to the door to make sure I heard correctly. The conversation went on and on until I couldn't hold it anymore. I barged in. She was shocked to see me. I could tell. She ended the call, greeted me as if nothing happened. I confronted her immediately with my questions. I asked her, "Who is the father of your child? Am I truly the father?" I told her that I heard everything, so she shouldn't just lie to me. She went, "No, you misunderstood me. I meant that my son needed to visit my dad, his grandfather. You know, my dad is old and sick, so I was thinking of visiting home with my child so that my dad could get to see his grandchild in case anything happens." I didn't want to argue. I left the room with the whole conversation playing in my head. Later that year, I booked a flight for them to visit her father. I begged my woman to come back to the UK before the boy's first birthday, which was in a month's time, so we could all celebrate it together. She said no. She preferred to do it in Nigeria with her family and friends. I said okay. I couldn't argue since I'm the wife and she's the husband. They traveled to Nigeria. I sent money for birthday and other stuff. I'm talking about millions of naira here. 2 weeks after getting to Nigeria, baby got really sick and was admitted into a general hospital. I sent another 500k for a hospital bill. He was discharged. 2 days after, baby went back to private hospital in Lagos, still sick. This time I sent another 1 million naira. So they spent almost the whole holiday in and out of the hospital. After the holiday, they came back to England. When I saw my baby, I cried. He was like a shadow of himself. They ended up again in the hospital, this time for 3 months, because he was diagnosed with sepsis infection. I was angry because all this would have been avoided if she had listened to me. This brought issues between us. One day I came visiting in the hospital. I saw that my boy was getting better. Held his hand to play with him. My wife went off. "Don't hold my baby hands. I'm the one that gave birth to him." So I asked her again, "Who is really the father of this child?" Just tell me, I'll keep it a secret. I didn't get any reply. After that incident, I secretly carried out a DNA on the baby. I did a DNA test and the results came out that indeed I am not the father of the child. I cried. When I confronted my wife, she lied, saying that because I once told her that I had fertility issues, she then assumed that I can't make babies, which is why she went behind me and do IVF. It cost her 2 million naira. I told her that's a lie. I can make babies. In fact, I've gotten a woman pregnant before. Okay, if you actually did IVF, are you not meant to use my sperm? Where is the hospital paperwork for the IVF? I want to see it. And where is the receipt for the payment? I want to see everything. Instead of giving me answers to my questions, she asked the nurses and doctors to walk me out of the hospital and never allow me to visit the baby again, stating that I was dangerous. I was asked to leave and never come back. Before I left, I told her that I was going to tell our pastor and church members what she did. She didn't even bother. What I didn't know was that this lady had other plans. I later contacted her parents and a few members of the church, but none of these people believed me. They all sided her. And this is because she already fed them with so many lies. Even my own pastor didn't even give me a listening ear. Instead, he took her side. I was later told that my own pastor has been sleeping with my wife. 3 weeks after this whole issue, I decided to forgive her and I was ready to accept and train her son as mine. So I went to the hospital to go visit them. Guess what? They were no longer in the hospital. The baby had been discharged. I tried to contact her on WhatsApp and realized that she has blocked me. I contacted her through other social media, begged her to come back home. I don't care who the baby's father is, just come home please. I forgive you. She read it but never responded. I kept texting, begging every day, but nothing changed. 1 week after, I got a call from the police that my wife was coming to pick up her stuff from my house. I'm like, why? We didn't even fight. What happened? Then the police dropped the bomb on me. They went, domestic violence. A few hours later, I saw my wife came in with the police and I was told to go outside and wait while she packed her stuff. I obeyed and stayed outside. She moved everything I used my money to buy for her and the baby and even stole my money. But I let go. The house we live in, I paid a 6 months rent and we just moved in there not long ago. Since the issue started, I've been going through hell, sleeping and eating alone. Got into mental crisis. So after she packed that day, I was like, you know what? Let me just leave this country. This is part 4 and the final part. I forgot to mention earlier that I'm also a German citizen. After my wife packed her stuff and left the house, I decided to leave the UK to Germany so I could heal both mentally and physically and also start a new life there. I gave the house back to the landlord, packed my bags and left. When I got to the airport, guys, guess what? I was arrested. I'm like, what happened? Why am I getting arrested? They said my ex pressed charges for harassment. Not only did this woman accuse me of domestic violence, she's accusing me of harassing her and even pressed charges. Wow. I was delayed and locked up for 12 hours. Mind you, I didn't take the baby out of my papers. Even though I know I'm not his biological father, I wanted her to use the baby and renew her paper. But she foolishly went and pressed charges. I said to myself, you know what? I've had enough. So the police interrogated me. According to my wife, I mean ex-wife, she said I want to unalive her and the baby. I didn't feed them. I didn't let her walk. So many lies to mention but a few, guys. I just told the police I don't have much to say. They should just go and do their findings and know the truth. I showed them evidence that showed that they were properly taken care of. Bank accounts, flight tickets of them visiting home and back proved that she was receiving or been receiving all the child's benefits. So I was released based on my evidence and asked not to leave the country until the investigation was completed. When I got to my hotel room that night, as I had no house anymore, I was fuming in anger. I emailed Home Office and told them everything. Attached copies of the DNA result, told them how my ex committed a paternity fraud on me and all that. Finally, I asked them to remove her from my visa and also revoke the baby's British citizenship, as I'm not his biological father. Home Office responded, had her visa and the baby's British citizenship revoked. The boy is not a British anymore, so she can't even use the boy to get visa again. Currently, they are at the refugee camp while she awaits the domestic violence case to see if she will get paper through it. I pity her because when the authorities find out that everything she's been telling them are lies, she's going to regret it. She's even thinking of applying for asylum, forgetting that Home Office was the one that revoked her visa and they have reasons and enough evidence. That's how they went from being a British to zero, from having a spousal visa to now a refugee camper and an asylum seeker. Guys, This story shocked me. This was the story from one of our brothers, a Nigerian man. So he wants to know you guys' advice. If he was wrong revoking the baby's British citizenship and also taking his wife off his visa, please leave your comments under the comment section. He'll be there to read all your comments and take your advice. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in my next one.